Hello, class. My name is David Pohl, and this will be my final visual report of the simulation experience that we had during the Management 672 class. The company I created was named Neotech, and we're talking about a company specializing in the personal computing industry. So we don't have much time. 10 minutes is a lot of time, so we'll get right into it. As an overview, the company Neotech that I had created was a targeted industry. The strategy being that you have the computer industry in general, and as we saw within the simulation, there were four or five practice companies that we were going up against who were all trying to target a certain part of the market. Now, rather than create a lot of products that were just general computing devices, personal computing devices, we wanted to create something that differentiated as a strategy we learned from the text and created a pocket where you would have traveling professionals on the road who wanted a device that was compact, portable, high performance, able to network well, and carried all the office products where you could present, do things on the road where, yes, you could get by with a regular computing product, something that you would just have personally for gaming or whatever, your home office, but this would be specific for individuals who are traveling. So the traveling segment is what we primarily went after. As far as the early decisions that were made, and this may be a byproduct of just following the simulation instructions, but there seemed to be an extreme strong pressure to grow and expand as fast as humanly possible, and even into foreign markets, and to hire people. And I understand that. I understand that the simulation wants you to grow as quickly as possible. However, over that short of a period, we only really went through 6 quarters. It's a very fast process for expanding. We can get into that with the lessons learned. One of the ideas that we had going into this is that we were going to have fewer products that we created, but they were going to be high quality products. The mindset of this was, why would we create five different computers, different types of computers for individuals when we could just create one or two really good ones that were better than anything else in the industry. We'll get into that in lessons learned also, because that could have been a bad decision. And then the other decision made on was to try to completely outdo competition as far as employee fringe benefits were concerned, or even just regular benefits, their pay, days off, vacation time, medical benefits, things of that matter. Trying to completely outdo competition so as to have the best employees on the market, or at least the most satisfied. Lessons that were learned: so too much too soon. The expansion would not have been a bad idea, and looking back on things, the competition that I was dealing with is expanding well. They just did it in a better way than I think that I did. But being too aggressive in the wrong areas, such as just expanding plants, just going into other countries, international markets, without having a good product stateside, created huge deficits to begin with. So much so to where I'd be trying to make all of the correct decisions as far as what the company should be, what the plant size should be, what production should be, and making it as strong as possible. But if you don't have the sales to back that up, you create huge deficits that end up in a negative cash flow at the end of a quarter. And I will admit, have a quarter where I was forced to take out an emergency loan at the end, which is not a good situation to be in. And then the other lesson learned was just having too few products. I got very specific about the area that I was trying to target. Now, my secondary market, I didn't go after Mercedes, but more the workhorse class, because they appeared to be the biggest market segment. But I didn't have, our company didn't have enough of a spectrum of products. We just had the two at first that went after a specific group. And then we didn't really learn much from that. I think the quarter after that we went for 3, when really having looked back at the competition that I was going up against, they regularly had 5 to 7, and they didn't hit home runs on any one of them. But the fact that they had so many, they completely took away from the market share and put me in a bad situation that I didn't realize really until the third or fourth round, I believe. So, in conclusion, it would have been valuable to take more time, remain patient on just the idea of expanding into other markets. Had I been more successful from the get go, then yes, expanding quickly would have been fine. And I think the simulation wanted us to expand around the second quarter, but it's something that I wasn't in a position to do. Market research and mirroring behavior. So when I look back and I thought about how I wanted to differentiate myself from the other competitors, I was trying to do everything the opposite of what they were doing. The problem with that is that they were succeeding very well, and me differentiating so much that I was just trying to do something um, nuanced was causing me a lot of problems. If I would have at least done so much as to follow their example of creating multiple products and multiple options, maybe spending less on expansion, more on marketing, more on ad placement, then that would have been beneficial. And then the biggest thing, avoiding the cash deficit. So having, I think it was the third quarter, the end of the third quarter, we had a negative cash deficit, and it resulted in an emergency loan. And the simulation seemed to try to warn us of this, and I learned that more and more. When you got to the end, you saw the exclamation points where they were warning you, saying you're going to be in a negative cash deficit if you don't change the decisions that you're making. What I would have done in hindsight, not worried so much on investing monies into CD and stuff like that, but just saving myself, making sure that in my estimation I would at least be at a $300,000 uh, cash position at the end of the quarter. Then if it was plus or minus from that, it wouldn't have been minus 300,000. I would still been on the positive, and then I wouldn't have had that emergency loan situation, which is going to be a bad loan at a terrible APR. That being said, if you guys have any questions, please post it on the message board, and I'd be happy to respond. Thank you, guys.